One of the headline fights pits Dustin Poirier against one of my favorite active participants in combat sports, and that's Michael Chandler. How you doing, Michael?
Max, thank you so much for having me, man. I am just ecstatic. Here we are, New York City, Madison Square Garden here in a couple of days. So excited to go out there and do this thing. Thank you for the opportunity.
Hey, first of all, before we get into the fights this weekend and speaking of thank yous, a year ago I was cage side, right? Like I was right at the octagon for that fight you had with Justin Gaethje at Madison Square Garden. And I can tell you, Michael, I've been covering boxing a long time. I'm an historian. That is one of the all-time great fights in the history of Madison Square Garden, certainly one of the best I've ever seen. What was it like being involved in a fight like that at a place like Madison Square Garden?
Well, first off, thank you so much for that sentiment. You are a man who has seen a lot of fights. So, man, it was amazing. You know, when you get into the sport of mixed martial arts, you want a couple things. You want big opportunities on big stages against great opponents. Justin Gaethje, Madison Square Garden, here in the UFC, the world's premier mixed martial arts promotion. Millions and millions of eyeballs saw it that night, and then highlights have been played every single day all over the world since then. Man, so it's just, I feel so fortunate to be here. I feel like I've gotten a second career now. I fought outside the UFC for so long, and now to be in some of the best fights of 2021, 2022 thus far, fighting nothing but the top cream of the crop here in the UFC. That's exactly where I want to be, right where I want to be. And this Saturday night, Madison Square Garden against Dustin Poirier, probably one of the most decorated guys on the roster, is no different. I'm excited to go out there and steal the show again.
All right, so let's get into Poirier. Video surfaced Saturday of you and Poirier being restrained from each other at UFC 276 this summer. Is there anything extra here? Is it personal in some kind of extra way here?
Man, I tell you what, I respect the heck out of Dustin Poirier. Our relationship started really well, very, very cordial, and then I started winning. He obviously is always winning in the top of the lightweight division, so we knew we were going to eventually fight each other, so I think, you know what, I don't know if I like that guy as much as I thought, so we got to go out there, bite down on our mouthpieces, and get after it. But what happened there at that UFC event was just two guys who wanted to exchange some words. Dustin is a professional. He's not going to let all of that stuff get to him. I'm a professional. I'm not going to let it get to me. What you're going to see on Saturday night is just going to be a byproduct of 22 years of hard work, both of us getting after it, and I believe I'm going to get my hands raised.
All right, so, Michael, sometimes with a guy like you, and by that I mean a warrior, you heard the sound on the way into this segment, you just like being a part of the carnage, right? And win or lose, you make history with your opponent. You go through this thing together and create this incredible, everlasting event. How do you get past that, though, to actually win this one? What's your prediction for Saturday?
It's a great question. I do believe I have the skill set, the mindset, and the abilities to go out there and not just beat Dustin Poirier, but to beat him handily. I think I'm better in all the areas where I need to be. I think I have the power. I think I have the speed. I think I have the tenacity. And quite frankly, I think I just want it more. I truly believe that there's not a guy on the roster who has lived a championship lifestyle as long as I have, as diligently as I have. And I think it's the right time for me to fight Poirier and the wrong time for him to fight me. At this point in our careers, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to get in his face in typical Michael Chandler fashion. I'm going to keep you on the edge of your seat. I'm going to keep him on his back foot, and I'm going to be looking for that chin the entire time. And I think I put his lights out, I get my hand raised, and then the UFC says I'm the next guy in line for the UFC title 2023 against Islam Makhachev.
Now, listen, I said this once about Triple G in boxing. If you're talking about value for your entertainment dollar, this guy right here, Michael Chandler, you don't want to miss it. I can't wait for the fight. Thanks, Michael.
Thank you so much, Max. I appreciate you. See you at the top.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.